So let's talk about that. Then you're in LA, you're starting to read a lot of scripts, build a network. Some of your early credits as a screenwriter were Marvel one-shot shorts. Maybe you can talk about those. How did you go from reading scripts to getting some of those early gigs with Marvel? Did you get an agent first? Were you able to break in without an agent? Maybe talk us through that a little bit.
And you're suggesting a great passage of time too, because it was a long time. I got an agent almost within the first year of moving out to Los Angeles. Kind of made the decision, like, I'm going to work random jobs, kind of cobble together rent and try and be a writer, as opposed to get like a job that require all my time and not let me write that much. I decided to go for it. But it was right around that time, I feel like there was a pretty marked transition in the industry from a spec market for scripts to more IP or adapting things or pitching, as opposed to, I feel like what the stories I heard, I was never truly a part of this, but in the 80s and 90s, someone would write an original spec, a lethal weapon or something like that. And then on Tuesdays, that their agent would say to all of the studios and all the production companies, here it comes. Everyone's getting it at 9, which would then, of course, create a competitive market. I think that when I first got out here, I thought that was going to be the path when it really wasn't. It's hard to arrive in a town where that was changing, especially in my field. So my first agent didn't work out so much. I was, working a bunch of random jobs, pizza delivery guy. I was a temp. I was a driver, like a delivery driver. What's that called? A messenger. Yeah, I was a messenger. I worked at a movie theater, all just to keep my time free to write more. And eventually, I don't know how some of my work got to my next agent, who is my agent now. I think his assistant, actually, who I owe a great debt to, had read stuff and put it on his boss's desk. And I switched agencies, and then through his help, my agent to this day, Doug, shout out Doug, and also a previous relationship I'd had with just some people from hanging out who was working at Marvel, I auditioned essentially to become part of the Marvel Writers Program, which, it was very early days, the nascent days at Marvel Studios. They had, beyond just the people working on the titles in production or in pre-production, they had a few of us there trying to stockpile material for later. And that's how I ended up getting that job. And that was 8 years coming, 8 years of kind of struggling before I actually got truly paid to be a writer. So once I was in there, I was working very, very hard. I thought I'll do anything. Didn't have any sort of ego about it. I wasn't trying to only do features. I wasn't trying to use it as a springboard to be somewhere else in the industry. And one of the things that they brought up was the idea of Marvel one-shots, which I believe the original pitch for it was like Pixar, like, let's do short films that can air ahead of our features in the theater the way that Pixar does. And as a trial for it, we did a couple of one-shots that ended up, we pitched, it was, our goal, I think, was to do before the features in the theater, but the way we got it done was as extra content on DVDs and Blu-rays.
I gotcha.
I think it might have ultimately been too expensive to get the shorts done, especially because 3D was big then too. So if you were in a 3D audience, and then anyway, that's all details that don't matter. That's how I ended up writing the shorts for Marvel. I was in the program working with Brad Winterbaum, who was one of our producers on Black Widow and my producer on Thor Ragnarok as well. And we were just making cool stuff.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Selling Your Screenplay podcast. If you'd like to hear the full interview, just go to sellingyourscreenplay.com/podcasts. Or to go directly to the episode, just use the link in the show notes. Thanks for watching.